SSERAFIM's concept have gotten them as much praise as it has gotten them criticism. Despite appearing as fearless and anti-fragile idols who make everything look easy, they have also shown that everything may be just a facade. SSERAFIM entered the industry with a boom. In addition to the fact that they were HYBE's first girl group, their concept also got a lot of attention. It was all about being confident in yourself and moving forward without caring what other people have to say about it. Even the group's name is an anagram of the phrase "I'm fearless," and their debut track was called Fearless as well. Then they released Anti-Fragile, and as Yeonjin explained, the message we're trying to convey is very concrete, that no matter what the world throws at us, we'll find a way to persevere that works for us. So bring it on, world. Their next comeback, Unforgiven, had more or less a similar message to the previous ones, a strong stance and defiance against societal expectations. The truth is that the members, their concept, and their songs created an impression of fearlessness, indifference towards the haters, and a desire to shake up the industry for the better. However, the reality is different. From the moment SSERAFIM debuted, people have wondered if their fearless and non-conformist concepts were truly authentic. Their intentions to change things for the better was truly admirable, but was it realistic? As many people have made a point in the past, the members haven't actually done anything to change things up. They're all pretty, thin, young, and they are part of the biggest company in the industry. They reached this point by following industry standards and continue to do so to maintain their audience. When they debuted, they became instantly big, and of course, their songs were written by someone else, composed, produced, and arranged by someone else, and for the most part, they tend to play it safe. Even if their concept was about being confident and fearless, to some people, the whole thing is just them playing into a character. People also tend to bring up something that Yeonjin said in her introductory video, which is that she wants to change the idol industry. According to people, she has done nothing to do so, and that the whole socially aware idol who wants to change the industry is just a persona that HYBE has carefully crafted for her. However, it seems like people might have really misunderstood what the girl stood for. Regarding Yeonjin's words, for example, she explained that when she was asked what she wanted to say, changing the idol industry was the first thing that came to mind. She also said that she liked dancing and music, which is why she wanted to work as an idol in Korea. However, once she actually started her training and experiencing how the industry actually works, she developed certain feelings about it. As for the way she wants to change the industry, Yeonjin said, "I want to create the kind of environment where I can express myself a little more openly rather than have to conceal the real me when I'm on camera." Despite the good intentions behind it and how harmless the statement was, it's been constantly used against Yeonjin to undermine the things she does or says. Nobody seems to acknowledge that she was a rookie when she said so, and it has only been 2 years since they debuted, so even if she had the opportunity to make things better for idols in the industry, she wouldn't be able to do so in just 2 years. Also, we doubt that she's the first nor the last idol to express similar sentiments, so it's very confusing why Yeonjin is the only person to be held to such high standards. As for their concept, it's definitely misunderstood, as the members have said. Yes, they tend to sing about how confident and fearless they are and how little they care about what everyone thinks of them, but on a deeper look, they're trying to say something different. In an interview with People magazine, Sakura said, "It's not that we're really anti-fragile, we're pursuing to be anti-fragile. It's not that we're really fearless, like we're not scared of anything, but we pursue to be fearless people." They said the same thing in an interview with Teen Vogue when the members were talking about the Easy album. Kazuha explained that even though they're confident in themselves, they're also vulnerable and weak sometimes. Sakura added that there are days that she feels confident and motivated enough to take on the world, but there are also times when she faces a challenge and feels fear and vulnerability. As the members have shared, their concept isn't about portraying them as unbreakable or immune to criticism. Instead, it's about showing that while things can be tough, it's important to push through and rise above the challenges. This message has basically been shown by the members not only through their interviews, but also in the 2 documentaries they have put out, The World Is My Oyster and Make It Look Easy. Let's talk about Kazuha, for example. While SSERAFIM's concept might suggest that Kazuha is very confident on stage, The World Is My Oyster revealed that she actually felt insecure, especially when comparing her skills to more experienced members like Sakura, Chaewon, and Yeonjin. She was born in Japan and lived in Osaka until she was 16. Before debuting as an idol, Kazuha was a professional ballet dancer, having trained at Hashimoto Sachio Ballet School and Junior in Japan, the Bolshoi Ballet Academy in Moscow, and the Royal Ballet School in the UK. She had been studying at the Dutch National Ballet Academy in the Netherlands ever since 2020, which is also where she was scouted. So that means that before Kazuha became a trainee, she didn't know how to speak Korean, sing, rap, or dance in other styles except for ballet, which dance trainer Jang Haerin also talked about. The vocal trainer Kim Sori also noted that HYBE was concerned at first, seeing as there were too many obstacles that Kazuha had to face to debut, the language barriers and cultural differences amongst other things. But even though she had the drive and motivation needed to be a part of the group, things were pretty difficult for her. 3 days after she had already moved to Korea so she could practice along with those who would be her future members, she broke down in the practice room. She also confessed to the girls that she had been practicing on her own because she didn't want to burden them. In an attempt to make her feel better, the dance trainer told Kazuha that she was doing well for someone who had been training for only a week or two. She was shocked to find out, though, that Kazuha had only been there for 3 days, since in her opinion, Kazuha looked like she had practiced for much longer. Kazuha polished her skills through hard work and dedication, but looking at her, you would never guess that she had to leave all her life behind to come to Korea, learn a whole new language, and learn brand new skills to keep up with her peers, who had been in the industry for some time back then. Eunchae had more or less the same problem as Kazuha. As the youngest member, Eunchae doubted whether she could keep up with or stand out among the other girls. In an interview, she admitted that she believes the group could be even better if her skills improved. She also expressed worries that she wouldn't be able to perform as well in front of an audience as she does when practicing alone. Eunchae shared that her main concern was whether she could make her own mark and stand out. Despite her intimidation, though, she put a lot of work into not being written off as the inexperienced member of the group, all of which have paid off. She is a vital part of the group, a dear friend to the members, and even one of the most beloved music bank MCs. However, that doesn't seem to be enough for some netizens, as Eunchae is one of the most hated SSERAFIM members. It's estimated that she got more than twice as many hate comments on her Instagram posts as the other SSERAFIM members did right after Coachella. Yet she perseveres, she's still an MC, still holds her YouTube show Eunchae's Diary, and will promote with SSERAFIM during their comeback with Crazy. There was even a scene in Make It Look Easy in which she hyperventilates as she's rehearsing for the Unforgiven showcase, but she still goes on stage and gives an amazing performance. Once the performance was over and the members all went backstage, everyone applauded Eunchae and her perseverance, which brought her to tears. Even though fans weren't very fond of the fact that she had to perform in that condition, it just showed everyone that there's nothing that can bring her down. As for Chaewon, she was also seen sacrificing her health for the sake of the group, as in the documentary, she was seen getting an IV drip as the group was filming the Unforgiven music video. In addition to that, it was shown that she put her job before anything else. At one point, staff suggested that they film the important scenes first and leave the least important ones for later since Chaewon wasn't filming well. Chaewon insisted that they should go on because it was the only reason they came there in the first place. The staff kept telling her that her health was a lot more important than work and that she should rest for a bit, but Chaewon stood firm, telling them that she would let them know if she wasn't feeling okay and couldn't go on. This just showed fans something that they rarely saw before, that companies aren't always the ones to blame when idols go on to work when they're sick, and that sometimes it's just the idol not wanting to let fans and everyone else around them down. Considering all this, we can say for sure that SSERAFIM have had a rough time lately. The misinformation, the hate train, and the constant threats have really taken a toll on them. However, the critics have been particularly harsh on Yoonjin, and especially Sakura. Yoonjin, as mentioned, was still getting backlash for whatever she did, as people would bring back her statement about changing the industry. Whether she filmed a TikTok with someone, was reading a book, or collaborated with someone, there was someone who had a problem with it. This is probably the reason why Yoonjin expressed that she missed her old life sometimes. She said, "I always ask myself this. If I had never become a trainee in the first place, stayed in school, lived normally, and went to college, would I have been happier? Wouldn't I have been freer that way? I think about that a lot." She even revealed that she almost gave up on being an idol altogether. She shared that during her trainee days, she lost motivation because the praise she once received easily became rare over time and even turned to criticism, with people telling her that she lacked the appeal to become an idol. Additionally, she had been a trainee for 5 years and had dealt with too many situations where she was very close to debuting, but then something went wrong and she got back to being trainee. So this had her contemplating whether it was worth going on with being an idol or if she should just focus on her education instead. Luckily, she received a call from HYBE as they offered her the opportunity to join their girl group. Yoonjin explained, "Actually, I'd been receiving calls from companies, from other companies as well, but I was just planning on going back to school. I thought I had nothing left to do with K-pop, but strangely, as soon as I heard that, my heart was already in Korea." Even though things were definitely not easy for her, she managed to get her confidence and motivation back. When it comes to Sakura, she could easily compete for the most hated idol position and win because the comments she received during the Easy era were borderline inhumane. Sakura had always dealt with comments like this, but they got worse after she debuted in SSERAFIM and caused her to be insecure about a lot of things. One of those was her age. Before becoming a member of SSERAFIM, Sakura had already debuted twice. First in the Japanese girl group HKT48 and then in Eyes 1 after she competed in Produce 48. Because of the fact that she had been in the idol industry for more than a decade, she deemed herself to be too old to debut with the group. It's no surprise that she felt that way, especially since the age of idols today keeps getting younger and younger. She was also concerned about the fact that this was the third time that she was debuting, as it made her wonder whether people would like her anymore. Sakura said, "I wrote in my journal that I wanted anyone to like me. I want to be happy and not regret this path I've taken. I want to think I did a good job." Then there's the thing that people have the most problems with when it comes to Sakura, and it's her vocals. On The World Is My Oyster, she said that she was aware that her singing needed improvement, but the criticism got to her so much that she was even afraid to enter the studio and didn't even want any lines in the group's songs. She elaborated, "I heard the parts were all divided. That's basically what I heard. That's also when I started thinking, I don't want many lines in the song." Considering the situation, Sakura didn't know whether she wanted to practice and do her best because she was so worried that she would hear the same things once again. It didn't matter what Sakura did though, because it seems like people are set on hating her. She gets hate when she has a bad performance, but she also gets hate when she has a good performance. She gets hate when she does anything else in her free time, as people insist that she should be practicing instead, but if she does practice, she gets told that she shouldn't boast about it since it's what she's supposed to be doing in the first place. Since Sakura is only human, the hate got to her and it even made her regret becoming an idol. In their most recent documentary, she tearfully expresses, "Rather than say that being an idol was the wrong choice, I want to ask if being an idol is what I do best. Whenever I make a mistake, I think to myself that had I chosen something else, I too could have been good at something." She shared that while she's happy being an idol, hearing others' opinions made her start questioning everything, leading her to overthink and even cry. But thankfully, she has shown herself to rise above the hate. Even though she's scrutinized for every little thing she does, she doesn't give up and run away, but instead uses it as fuel to work harder. After hearing criticism about her first weekend performance at Coachella, she began improving by the next show, and that progress continued with each of the group's performances. On the surface, SSERAFIM's fearless concept might seem like an act, but the members truly embody everything it represents. They have flaws and vulnerabilities, but instead of letting those hold them back and bring them down, they use them to grow into better idols, performers, and people.